The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one of my favorite cartoons, along with The Loud House and SpongeBob SquarePants. Well, the Ninja Turtles movies are not perfect, and The Last Ronin was necessary. I enjoyed them at the end of the day. Okay, I know it has been 2 years since Mutant Mayhem came out, but for today's video, I'm going to compare it to the 2 live-action Ninja Turtles movies. Without wasting any more time, let's start. How the story in the Ninja Turtles usually goes is that the 4 brothers gets mutated by the ooze, but every origin story of the Ninja Turtles just always go differently. In the live-action movie, they used to be April's pets, even though they're actually not. Well, in Mutant Mayhem, they're just random turtles that Master Splinter adopted. Okay, well, for how unserious and goofy the origin story in Mutant Mayhem, I kind of found it better. But wait, hold on there for a second, I'm not done here. Well, the story for the Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow took place right after the first movie. Shredder is going to be released in prison, which I don't understand, that makes sense. And then he got summoned by the Krang, and meanwhile, the Turtles just wanted to be normal and fit in with the humans, and Leonardo just criticizing his siblings the whole time. But the problem is that Out of the Shadow just jumped into way too much subplots. It was good for what I see, but it jumps to one plot to the other. Well, I think I will give the story to the 2014 film. Why, you may ask? Well, despite the better and funny origin story in Mutant Mayhem just seems like it doesn't have a plot at all. It was just yet a cliche story of the Turtles wanting to fit in with the humans, and they end up going to school, just like what a normal teenager would do. And when you break it down, that is kind of bad storytelling, even though it doesn't have a story. The first live-action Ninja Turtles film at least did show the origin story and paced it well before you get to the turtle fighting the threat that is going after them. So the Ninja Turtles movie with the superior movie is the 2014 film. And for second place, for the superior Ninja Turtles story, is Out of the Shadows, and in last place, Mutant Mayhem. Okay, the characters, well, including the Turtles, of course, are pretty fun and entertaining. I like how they get the Turtles' personality right. Although, when I saw the trailer, seeing the Ninja Turtles in live action for the first time, I was freaking out. Well, I know it is just the Turtles, but still. And when Michael take off his mask, I end up getting nightmares as a kid. But after watching the movie, and as a result, on paper, it is awesome, but the CGI still needs some work on the Turtles. But watching the second movie, however, I pretty much got used to Abomination CGI and just have a good time. And the Turtles had more personality in the sequel this time around. So, what do I think of the characters in Mutant Mayhem? Well, I honestly did not like these version of the Turtles at all. Okay, yeah, get pissed off all you want. But seriously though, when I saw the trailers for Mutant Mayhem, well, I thought this movie is going to suck because of the voice acting of the Turtles. Okay, well sure, I can understand that is their young teenager voice. Like, not every teenage kid kids has a deep voice, but I cannot help but to feel a bit distracted by their voices. They sounded more like little kids to me than just teenagers. So for that, I prefer the deeper voice of the turtles, because to me, it sounded more like teenagers than the Mutant Mayhem version ever is. Well, not only I am not a fan of the voice acting, I just saw the turtles as a completely different characters. When I watched this movie for the first time, I don't see them as the Ninja Turtles that I grew up with. I just saw them as a new Gen Z generation type of teenagers. Okay, I get it is relatable to the new generation, but for me, it is just wrong. And plus on that, you even have the turtles acting so loud and all Gen Z gangster, and we even have Michelangelo shaking his butt, which it is out of character. Yo, you can say what you will about the live-action Ninja Turtles, because at least they stay true to the personality of the turtles through and through, and they even actually did something funny with them, which is pretty memorable. So the Ninja Turtles film, with the far superior characters, is undoubtedly the live-action film, the second in the first, and in dead last place, Mutant Mayhem. We start off with the main villain of Mutant Mayhem, Superfly. Well, I thought he was just okay. Well, he does not hold that much of a threat. Oh, and also, we got these other mutants gang, which I forgot they're in this movie. Well, anyway, something that doesn't make sense for his motivation, or anything really. Well, despite the backstory that he had, it was not that well developed, and the heck, he's just suddenly okay of fighting his family, and didn't even care when he's trying to kill them. Yeah, he has no guilt for what he did, or anything really. Well, Out of the Shadow has some classic villains from the Ninja Turtles cartoons. Well, even though Bebop and Rocksteady caused this movie to failed, well, the Krang was in it too, and that is fun. Although, my problem with the villains in this movie is how they use the Shredder. Yeah, he was in every scene in the movie, but yet, he doesn't have any fight scenes. And the heck, we don't get to see him fight the Turtles again before the Turtles fight Krang. Instead, the Shredder just got frozen in prison by the Krang. So yeah, overall, I think Shredder was completely wasted in this movie, because I thought Shredder was pretty cool in the first movie. Because when the Shredder defeated Master Splinter, well, I was worried about the characters, and his fight with Raphael was brutal and intimidating. And his fight with the Turtles at the climax was great and rewatchable, and we will talk more about it in the action segment. So yeah, overall, the Shredder in the first live-action Ninja Turtles movie was a intimidating foe for the Turtles to fight, and the Shredder has become my favorite villain of the Ninja Turtles franchise. Okay, now that I'm over here talking about intimidation factor and high stakes, well, there's never really a time that I cared about the characters in Mutant Mayhem. Well, in fact, we're not supposed to care about them according to the pacing of the movie, and that is just really saying something. Okay, the villain in the first Ninja Turtles gets first place. Well, as for Out of the Shadow, well, it would get first place if the Shredder gets to fight the Turtles again, but sadly, it's on second. Then lastly, Mutant Mayhem. Well, the action in the Ninja Turtle was quite cool. Okay, most people said that it reminded them of Transformers, but I quite don't see that. What I see here, it is original. I liked the fight scene in the Ninja Turtle sewers, and the fight between Raphael and the Shredder was brutal, and the climactic battle, like I said, is my favorite, and it got in so fast-paced and rewatchable. I watched this fight scene so many times, and I even recreate them with my toys. And watching this again, it brings back some memories. Well, Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow is packed with action, but it reminded me so much of Transformers at times. Okay, well, first off, I thought the Turtles fight scene with Bebop and Rocksteady was a bit underwhelming. We don't really get them to fight again. And then the climactic action, well, they just went Fast and Furious mode with this. Like, this kind of action I see here, this is something what Transformers action would be like. And it doesn't feel like a Turtles movie for a second. But although the battle with Krang was indeed great, but I do prefer the Turtles fight with the Shredder in the first movie. As for Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, well, this movie has the most action out of the two. Like, it was packed, and it was a lot of fun, but it is also pretty dull when you break it down. Well, any of the fight scenes, I mean any of them in the whole movie, it does not have an impact. It was just forgettable on paper. Well, although my favorite action scene in the whole movie is where Master Splinter gets to fight. I thought it was pretty unique that he gets to hold his own while he is not on his prime anymore. And my least favorite gotta be the trace sequence. The trace sequence does nothing special at all. Like, it was just so unimpactful and forgettable. What makes the trace sequence in the Super Mario Bros. Movie cool is that they use some action in them and make them ton of fun to watch. So the Super Mario Bros. Movie clearly have the superior trace sequence here. And also, not only that, they also played the song What Is Going On during that scene, which it is a very questionable pop song choices for a Ninja Turtles movie. Oh, and also, I found the climax battle to be forgettable too. Okay, well, on paper, it is pretty awesome, but it felt like I am playing a PS5 video game instead of watching the action, and that is not a good note. Well, I may enjoyed the climax battle with Shredder in the first live-action Ninja Turtles, but the live-action Ninja Turtles does not have enough action, and I rather sit through a movie that has more action that doesn't have impact. Well, the action in the second movie was overall great, and Mutant Mayhem was just decent. Okay, even though I prefer the climax battle with the Shredder the best, I think the movie with the superior action is Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow, Mutant Mayhem, and finally, the 2004 version. Well, I gotta say, it was funner than I remembered thinking about the live-action Ninja Turtles, but the animated one that came out recently was just a sadly afterthought. Well, despite the same animation style as the Spider-Verse, I consider it to be sort of torture for the Ninja Turtles fan, especially seeing Master Splinter kiss this disgusting thing. And I hope they make up for it for the sequel with the Shredder in it. Oh, and by the way, the turtles getting milked. Okay, that was pretty funny.
But seriously though,
I don't know about you guys, but I appreciated the live-action movies, and I appreciate it more as for right now. Well, Mutant Mayhem really surprised me, but it was just fine at best. Okay, now let's get to the scores. The 2014 Ninja Turtles film gets a 7 out of 10. Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem gets a low, average 7. And Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, well, at first, I was going to give it a higher rating than the first movie in Mutant Mayhem, but right after I just remembered what they did to the Shredder before the climax and the subplot stories being all over the place, my score for Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow, it's a mediocre 6 out of 10. Okay, for those who love Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I know I undoubtedly piss you guys off, and you know what? That is okay. If you disagree, then that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, including me. But hey, after all, it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so not every Ninja Turtles movies are perfect. None of them are, because there are about great times. Okay, let me know in the comments down below of which exactly you think which of the Ninja Turtles movies are superior. Well, even though I liked Mutant Mayhem a little better, I think the live-action films are the far superior movies when it comes to the source material and the character's personality. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.